Hey guys, Dr. Hao, welcome back. Many of you have asked me to make a video about stretching and warming up for people who lift weights. So basically, like you and I. So today, I have decided to make this video to share with you guys what I have learned from Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, who is basically one of the most well-known and well-respected professionals in hypertrophy research. He is someone who I admire tremendously, and I've been reading a lot of research from him, and I'm actually currently reading one of his books called Science and Development of Muscle Hypertrophy. So in one of the articles published on his website, and that you can actually find in the description of the video if you want to read it any other time, he discusses this topic of warming up and stretching, and today's content is basically my interpretation on that article. So 100% credit to him for providing us all with this great information. Now, real quick guys, before getting started, I would love to remind you that my training programs for beginners and intermediate trainees are finally available through the Athlete app. All the information is provided in the link in the description of this video for you to check them out. I just know they will help you tremendously, and your purchase will help us as well as channel and as a team to keep providing you guys with more free great content. So feel free to check them out. Now let's get straight into this video. So to be fully prepared for a weight training session, Dr. Brad Schoenfeld has the following recommendations. Number 1, do a general warm-up. This translates to performing any cardio-related exercise such as a walk or light jog on a treadmill, bicycle ride, elliptical, stairmaster, or bodyweight moves such as jumping jacks or burpees, for example. 5 to 10 minutes is all we need, he mentions. The main purpose of this warm-up is to increase body temperature to facilitate muscle contraction, blood flow, increase range of motion of the joints once we start lifting.
He puts emphasis on not overdoing the warm-up. He mentions that we need to keep intensity low. If we can hold a conversation while warming up, then we're good. Otherwise, we might need to lower the intensity as we might be going too hard.
Following the general warm-up, Dr. Schoenfeld recommends to do a specific warm-up for trainees who will be training with less than 5 repetitions, like a power lifter, for example. This kind of protocol basically refers to doing a couple of light sets before starting the actual heavy sets. As a general rule, he recommends one set of 6 to 8 reps at about 40 to 50% of 1 RM, and then a second set of about 60 to 70% of 1 RM. 1 RM stands for 1 rep max, which is the heaviest weight that you can lift for 1 rep on a particular exercise. So let's say that you will start doing your workout with bench presses, and you know that your 1 rep max is about 100 kg, then your first set of specific warm-up should be done with about 40 to 50 kg, and your second set of warm-up should be at about 60 kg to 70 kg. After you do those two, you should be ready to start your working sets. Now you may be wondering, how about trainees who follow a more bodybuilding style of training, who usually perform between 8 to 15 repetitions per set, like me for example? Dr. Schoenfeld mentions that for us, a specific warm-up is only suggested for compound multi-joint exercises like a deadlift or a squat, but not really compulsory if our workout routine starts with single joint exercises like a bicep curl, for example. This is because our working sets are already at a minimum of 6 to 8 repetitions, which already serve as a warm-up themselves. Thus, adding more sets on top of this can actually be counterproductive. So to put it simply, if you train within this rep range, Dr. Schoenfeld recommends to do a warm-up of 1 set only at about 50% of one's 1 RM for compound movements only. But if your first exercise is a single joint exercise, then there's no really need for any warm-up at all. Last, I would like to share with you guys what I learned from Dr. Brad Schoenfeld's view on stretching. He mentions that there is recent research suggesting that static stretches, like the ones you are seeing on the screen right now, may be detrimental for exercise performance when done prior weight training sessions. Research shows that static stretches when performed as a pre-workout protocol, so right before lifting weights, can have a negative impact on the force produced by the muscles and their tendons. Dr. Schoenfeld does mention though that a lot of these stretching protocols were carried on for long periods of time, for 30 minutes or longer, which is actually a lot more than what somebody would do prior a training session at the gym. So having said that, it is uncertain whether doing a few short minutes of stretching prior a gym session will affect performance negatively. But due to this uncertainty, he says we are still better off stretching immediately after working out to be fully sure not to affect our weight training sessions. Also, he reckons that it's probably better to stretch after a training session, as our body temperature is pretty high after all the intense training, and it feels pretty good to elongate muscles that have been continuously contracted. Also, another very interesting thing that Dr. Schoenfeld mentions in this article is that, as contrary as many people think, stretching on regular basis does not necessarily improve health and wellness. He states that being too flexible can actually make joints less stable, thus increasing the risk of injury. So he recommends to stretch only on joints that are lacking proper range of motion or that are feeling tight, and not go beyond this. Also, he explains that weightlifting is a form of stretching itself, and I quote his words: "In essence, resistance training is an active form of flexibility training, whereby a muscle is contracted and then immediately lengthened. When performed on a regular basis, it can keep you mobile and limber. We can therefore put to rest the myth that lifting slows you down and binds you up." So there you go, guys, another very important benefit of weight training that not many people are aware of. Alright guys, so before we go, let's do a quick summary. So to prepare ourselves for a weight training session, number 1, do a 5 to 10 minutes general warm-up on a cardio activity of your choice. Number 2, if performing 5 or less reps throughout your session, do a couple of lighter sets prior your working sets. Number 3, for a bodybuilding style of sets of 8 to 15 repetitions, then one lighter set prior compound movements should be sufficient. No need for a specific warm-up if starting with single joint exercises. And last, if you want to add stretches to your workout routine, do them after your workouts, so you avoid any chances of affecting your performance. And that was it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel as well. And I just wanted to remind you that my training programs are finally available through the Athlete app. The link is in the description of the video if you want to check them out. It definitely includes all reps, sets, exercise tutorials, and a bunch of other things that are super useful for beginner and intermediate trainees. Any other information, you can find it in my website and also on my social media accounts such as Instagram, so you might consider following me on that platform as well. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.